The turboprop is cutting through the Himalayas at cruising speed. Outside the windscreen, there is absolutely nothing to see, just a wall of intense, featureless white fog that has completely swallowed the horizon. In the left seat is a 53-year-old captain with more than 20,000 hours of flight time. He knows this route perfectly, but right now he cannot see the mountain walls or pinpoint his own aircraft's position. He makes the call to abort the flight. He pulls the aircraft into a bank to turn back toward Pokhara. But that bank to the left puts Tara Air Flight 193 on a direct collision course with a solid rock face. Decades of experience in these exact mountains should have made this turn routine. To understand how a veteran pilot could fly a brand new aircraft into a mountain he knew was there, we have to look at how the human brain processes geography in the sky, and how easily that process can be corrupted. The morning of February 24, 2016 begins at Pokhara Airport in Nepal. 20 passengers and 3 crew board a DHC-6 Twin Otter for a short 20-minute hop to the mountain town of Jumsum. The route threads directly through the Kali Gandaki River Gorge. It is a narrow channel carved between colossal mountain peaks, with jagged walls that leave almost no room for error. This lightweight plane lacks the engine power to climb up and over these massive peaks. Instead, the crew must stay low, weaving their way through the floor of the gorge itself. Because the terrain is so unforgiving, Nepal's aviation authorities enforce a strict mandate: visual flight rules only. If a pilot cannot maintain constant, clear sight of the mountains and the horizon, they are legally forbidden from entering the gorge. This rule exists because of a biological limitation. The human inner ear relies on gravity and a visible horizon to tell us which way is up. In a banking aircraft, centrifugal force crits the fluid in your ear. Without a flat visual line out the window to correct that physical sensation, the brain cannot accurately sense speed, bank angle, or orientation. To survive in three-dimensional space, a pilot must build an artificial sense of reality using 3 specific pillars: clear outside visuals, accurate flight instruments, and automated safety alarms. To understand the crash of Flight 193, we have to examine the 20-minute window where those 3 pillars, the visuals, the instruments, and the alarms, gave way simultaneously. 8 months prior, a magnitude 8 earthquake had devastated Nepal. With the country's infrastructure in ruins, Tara Air was struggling. The airline needed to complete 3 round trips that morning before the afternoon winds shut down the destination airport. As a member of airline management, the captain felt the financial weight of every canceled flight. Under that pressure, the crew makes a choice. Instead of turning back at their designated safe waypoint when the clouds thicken, they break the rules and push higher into the soup of the gorge. Now fully enveloped in white fog, the captain's brain searches for a familiar reference. Suddenly, he announces he has ground contact. He orders a shallow descent toward what he believes is the valley floor. But at 11,500 feet, the ground is thousands of feet below them. The captain is actually looking at a dark shadow cast by the dense cloud layer, misidentifying a trick of the light as solid earth. Confirmation bias took hold. The captain saw what he needed to see to justify the flight, and in doing so, he severed his final tie to visual reality. With the windows blocked by fog, the crew's only remaining map was their instrument panel. However, this specific aircraft featured an upgraded avionics suite that the crew had not yet mastered. In reality, the plane was drifting. As the crew attempted to steer around cloud buildups, they gradually veered to the left, inching closer to the unseen mountain walls. Inside the cockpit, the captain misread the new track in heading displays. Looking at the unfamiliar screens, he came to the exact opposite conclusion. He believed the aircraft had drifted to the right. This cognitive error corrupted the second pillar of their awareness. The captain was now navigating based on a mental map that was a mirror image of their actual position. As the plane drifted closer to the peaks, the ground proximity warning system began screaming. A terrain pull-up alarm filled the cockpit. The captain chose to ignore it. This dismissive attitude was the result of years of conditioning. Because the Kali Gandaki Gorge is so narrow, the proximity alarm triggers constantly, even on perfectly safe, clear-weather flights. The captain had learned to treat the safety system as a nuisance. The 29-year-old co-pilot, with only 14 hours on this aircraft type, did not intervene. The steep authority gradient between a rookie and a senior manager kept the cockpit quiet, even as the alarms continued to blare. Finally, the captain decides to give up and turn back to Pokhara. Basing his move on his inverted mental map, he assumes the mountain wall is on his right. He rolls the wings into an aggressive bank to the left. He was already less than 100 meters from the left wall of the gorge. The third and final pillar, the safety alarm, had been silenced by habit, and the aircraft turned directly into the rock. Flight 193 impacted the mountain at nearly 11,000 feet. The destruction was so total that investigators required DNA analysis just to identify the 23 people on board. Investigators later found that the aircraft's terrain awareness and warning system could have mapped the danger perfectly, but the airline had never properly trained the crew to respond to its data. This tragedy highlights a difficult truth. Spatial awareness is a perishable state. It is a fragile psychological connection to the world that must be actively rebuilt second by second, regardless of a pilot's total flight hours. When corporate pressure pushes a crew beyond their training, even 20,000 hours of experience can become a liability. Without a commitment to the data over intuition, the human brain can confidently guide itself into disaster. New regulations followed, planes were retrofitted, and training was updated. Yet exactly 6 years later, the same airline on this same route would watch this exact history repeat itself.